Let's say you're the manager or CEO of a company, right? Like Walgreens or something, I don't know. Let's say you have an employee who has been a crucial part in the success of said company. A one-of-a-kind employee that everyone gets along with and has been there for a pretty long time. What do you do with them? Do you continue to pay them and treat them like everyone else until they leave? Or do you show your appreciation to that employee by giving them gifts or paid time off or a retirement party? Something that demonstrates how much you appreciate what they've done for the company. I think we all know what the correct answer is. Disney Channel is no stranger to this practice. The network comes out with multiple shows every year. Most of them last at least 2 seasons, get a game on the website, maybe a 2-part special or a celebrity guest episode, but only the best of the best and the most important shows got feature-length films. It was Disney's way of saying, hey, this show that you created is doing wonders for the channel right now. Here's a chance to share a story using those characters in a way that few have had the privilege of doing. It's also a way to make more money, but you get the point. Lizzie got one, Waverly Place got one, Hannah got one, Good Luck Charlie, Proud Family, Phineas and Ferb. All of those shows are some of the best and most important shows that the network has ever had. So of course it only makes sense that those shows were the shows that got movies. They got to expand their respective universes and tell stories that they couldn't normally fit in a 22-minute episode. And I mean, at least to my knowledge, most of these movies were pretty well received amongst their fandoms. You can ask a fan of the show about the movie and they'd probably have positive things to say about it. But this unfortunately did not apply to every show. And there is one franchise in particular that truly got the short end of the stick when it comes to film adaptations. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Debuting in 2005, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody followed a set of twins in their adventures in the hotel that they lived in thanks to their mom being a singer there. The series was a massive hit with kids thanks to its hilarious episodes and memorable characters. So much so that it had a sequel series after the show finished its 3-season run entitled The Sweet Life on Deck. By then, Cole and Dylan Sprouse were proving to be not just one of the most recognizable faces on Disney Channel, but some of the biggest child TV stars on the planet. Merchandise, video games, Danimals, more video games, more Danimals. Those kids were truly everywhere. But of course, all good things must come to an end. In October 2009, Disney announced that The Sweet Life on Deck would be returning for a 3rd season, which ultimately ended up being their last. And to no surprise, they wanted to go out with a bang. So to help wrap up the franchise and further cement it as one of Disney's best, they decided to do the only thing they hadn't done up until that point. Give them their own Disney Channel original movie. And instead of cementing the legacy of their franchise, it ended up being, in my opinion, their biggest failure. But before we jump into why, I think it's important to do a little recap of some of the important events that have happened in the series that set up the plot for the movie. Sweet Life movie takes place during season 3, somewhere in between the episodes Prom Night, the one where the kids try to murder Mr. Mosby for a senior prank and get mad at him for punishing them for it, and Graduation on Deck, the series finale. But there's still some pretty important details that happen earlier in the season that need to be addressed. In the season 2 finale, Cody and Bailey break up while in Paris over something stupid, I don't know, and the effects are felt in the first few episodes of the next season. Most of the first 18 episodes of season 3 all use Cody and Bailey breaking up as some sort of subplot, and it's pretty painful to watch. There's an episode where Cody puts on a play where he basically mocks Bailey in front of the entire audience, and although the scene is honestly hilarious in its own sick, twisted way, it's objectively a really scummy thing to do.
I can't believe you hate me so much that you killed me off.
But of course, somehow Bailey forgives Cody, and they end up getting back together. Another notable thing that happens in season 3 is the departure of main character Marcus Little, played by Doc Shaw. Something about becoming a pair of kings with Oliver from Hannah Montana, I don't know. So he's not in this movie, in case anyone was wondering where he was. Zack started dating a girl named Maya, who also is in this movie, but I thought I'd mention it anyway because I will bring it up again later into the video. Let's see, is that it? Evil Robot Girlfriend, Sean Kingston, Dwight Howard, Wizard of Oz parody? No, yeah, we're good. Alright, let's finally get into how the Sweet Life movie ruined the legacy of Zack and Cody. When the movie starts, we're greeted with a very Cody-centric opening scene. You ever have one of those moments where you think you don't remember something from a film or a show, and then one specific scene happens and your memories immediately get restored back to you? Yeah, that's what happened to me in this scene. Specifically the song that they used for it. I probably can't play it due to copyright, and I'm not gonna sing it due to me not being able to sing, but the lyrics immediately came into my head as soon as it started, despite me not having seen the movie in 11 years when it first came out. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of bangs too. I'm not gonna. He finishes signing a letter addressed to his girlfriend Bailey and makes his way through the ship as we see new parts of the boat that we have never seen before up until this point. As he begins to set up his romantic date, he hears a call from above, and we are now introduced to Zack and Woody. As brought up by Woody in forceful exposition dialogue, Cody has planned all this fancy stuff because he is going to tell Bailey that he plans on spending spring break at an internship and not with her. But instead of just letting her know, he decided to plan all this and write it down in a letter because he thinks that's the easiest way to do it. Zack tells Cody that he has an idea that would solve his situation. He proposes that he be the one that tells Bailey so Cody doesn't have to be anywhere near her. And in return, Cody gives Zack his car. Now, you might be wondering, what car could Zack possibly be speaking about? We never see Cody drive a car in the TV show. And well, Cody explains that mom and dad promised to get him a sports car for when he gets into college. I am emphasizing this because, spoiler alert, the last episode of On Deck shows that Cody never actually gets into college. At least not into Yale. This, however, wouldn't really be an issue since the movie takes place before the graduation episode, so you could just assume that Cody never gets the car, at least not for a long time. But where the issue actually does present itself is that we actually see the car at the end of the movie, a good 2 to 3 months before his graduation, when he finds out if he gets into college or not. So why did his parents send him a car that was supposed to be for when he gets into college before he finds out if he got into college or not? You could make the argument that because of how genius Cody is, that they just automatically knew for sure that he'd get in. But even then, why would they send it at the end of spring break if it's for his graduation? Look, I don't know. This whole thing just makes it seem like an entirely different crew were in charge of this movie and had no intention of tying it into the TV show. The script for this movie and the finale were probably written around the same time, considering how close they aired together, but with completely different staffs that were barely aware of what was taking place in both the show and the movie. Michael Saltzman, who has never ever been involved in a Sweet Life product, wrote the script, and Sean McNamara, who also has never been involved in a Sweet Life product, directed the film. And it's so disappointing too because Sean wrote my second favorite episode of Zeke and Luther. Come on, Sean, what are you doing? Anyway, Zack and Cody argue over the letter, which leads to it floating off into sea. Or so I thought, until it landed somewhere else on the outside of the boat. Later, Cody and Bailey are seen talking, with Cody trying to build up the courage to tell Bailey what's going on, until Zack comes in and tells Bailey himself, which is something that doesn't please Cody.
Thanks. Hey, Woody! Catch! Not very nice.
Ooh, sandwich! Wow! Sorry.
We're now introduced to the internship slash lab slash science research facility thing that Cody was talking about spending a spring break at. We're also introduced to Mr. Mosby, who doesn't really do much in this movie, and honestly I'm kind of glad. At least then his character can't get ruined like everyone else's did. Also, London appears and she has an argument with Mosby about why dolphins can't be mammals because they don't have humps. Yeah, she's the dumb one. Before the scene cuts away, we see London eat some dolphin food, which is something I'm only mentioning because it's actually really important. Cody, Mosby, and for whatever reason Zack enter the facility where they are introduced to head honcho of the lab, Donald Spaulding. They get a tour of the entire area, but not before Zack ends up leaving Cody and Mosby out of boredom. Suddenly though, his interest is piqued by a girl that he's attracted to, which is something that doesn't really make any sense, and it makes me wonder if this movie is even canon to the show to begin with. In like the first 10 episodes of the season, Zack begins to be really interested in this girl named Maya, as I stated, and they eventually start dating. One of the reasons why Maya agrees to date Zack, however, is because although he has a known reputation for being a player, He said he has changed his ways and that he might even truly love her, which is honestly really great character development for Zack. Which begs the question, why is he so interested in this girl if he's already in a legit committed relationship with Maya? You could say it's in character for him to be all over this new girl regardless of him already having a girlfriend, but I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. The entire movie doesn't even mention Maya, and none of the characters seem to even care that he's flirting with this other girl. To break things down even more so, this is the timeline of events. In Prom Night, the episode right before this, the whole reason why Zack wants the prom to continue is because he really wants to dance with Maya. Then the movie happens, and suddenly he has no memory of that. Then in the finale, Maya breaks up with him, and he's literally depressed. This really doesn't add up at all. You could argue that they wrote the script way before he started dating Maya, but if that's the case, then why wasn't Marcus, who was the main character of the show, not a part of the movie? It just reiterates my point even more so that this movie was handled by people who had no clue about the Sweet Life franchise, which makes me wonder why they were even offered to do it in the first place and why they said yes.
Money!
Zack follows the girl, whose name is Nellie, back outside to the submarine station thing. I don't know what it's called. Zack tells her that he's actually very smart, and Nellie asks him if he's so smart, could he pilot a submarine?
Let's find out.
Back in the lab, Cody and Ronald talk about how close he is with his research and how he's trying to find a way to telepathically speak to dolphins.
Exactly how close are you?
Just really good friends. Why? What have you heard?
I meant with the research.
Okay. To the surprise of no one, Zack enters the submarine, pilots it to where Kobe is, which freaks him and Ronald out. Cody grabs the second one to stop him, and hey, you know what? This CGI actually isn't that bad. They bump into the glass wall separating them from the sea, and it begins to crack. They escape before they get sucked out to the ocean and are greeted to a very angry Mr. Mosby and Dr. Spaulding. They get out of the water and have an argument about what just happened, as Zack refuses to accept that all of this, or at least most of it, was his fault. A side point, if I may, the likelihood of Zack doing anything truly dangerous while in there is pretty small, I would think. If Cody just let Zack do whatever and then get caught, not only would the sea glass probably not have broken, but Cody probably wouldn't have gotten his scholarship to Yale taken away, which is the only reason why he was there instead of with Bailey. Also, shouldn't the twins, or at least someone, be held responsible for the damages that happened to the seawall? We know it's not vandalism because you have to actually do it on purpose in order for it to count as that, but someone should still pay up for that, right? For that reason, I'm going to make this The Sweet Crimes of Zack and Cody, entry number 1. Cody says that he'll never forgive Zack for what he did and that he hates him.
I'm done, man. We're through. We may be twins, but we are not brothers.
Hey, I've seen that before.
When are you gonna stop being mad at me? I told you I'm not mad at you. I'm done with you. Josh, I mean it.
Meanwhile, Bailey talks to London about Cody and stuff, and when Bailey walks away, London engages in a conversation with a dolphin. Yup, you heard right. London has superpowers now. She is officially Eliza Thornberry. Not gonna make a joke about it, we're just gonna let it speak for itself. Zack tracks down Dr. Spaulding and convinces him to give Cody another shot, in which Spaulding agrees to do. He tells him that Dr. Olson, a colleague of his, is doing a study on twins that might qualify him for a Yale scholarship called the Gemini Project. So Zack and Cody agree and head off to wherever it's located and meet up with Dr. Olson. Also, his last name is probably a reference to Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, because, you know, twins and stuff. Olsen's plan is to use the research he is conducting to create a telepathic bond between people. He thinks if people can feel what others are feeling, that'll lead to more empathy around the world, thus causing less conflict. Which is exactly what I want to watch while watching a Zack and Cody movie. Good job, Disney. Zack and Cody were chosen because they have a lot of conflict with each other, thus making them the perfect candidates. Oh, if you're wondering, Bailey, Woody, and Eliza are getting attacked by crabs while all of this is happening. You could just tell they had like no idea how to write them into the script, so they just do stuff like this for most of the movie. During lunch, the twins try a new fruit called the Corsican fruit, which Dr. Olson creepily says is key to his research. The next day, Zack and Cody start experiencing strange occurrences. When one of them would get hurt, the other would as well. We see this demonstrated during a montage of, I guess, duo building exercises needed to bring the twins closer together. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention at that point. I don't know about you, but I feel like Cody should have a much bigger reaction to this considering he's apparently a genius, but whatever.
No, don't take it. No, every fallen petal is gonna represent one more phone call you don't get from him.
Shut up, Bailey. The twins go up to Dr. Olson and tell him about all the strange things that have been happening to them, and he brings them down to his lab. They conduct experiments to show that the Corsican fruit, when consumed by twins, creates a telepathic communication. Cody says that it's genius and doesn't seem to be the least bit concerned that this man experimented on him and his brother without consent. Isn't this also a crime? Probably a crime, right? This movie is insane. Zack leaves the lab and says he doesn't want to continue with his experiment, and Cody somehow doesn't understand how. I mean, I know these are fictional characters, but like, realistically speaking, is Cody really that oblivious to why someone would have an issue with literally merging himself with another person? How is Zack the dumbest one in the entire movie? Second dumbest one in the entire movie, yet he's the only one that is actually making sense. What are they trying to accomplish during this scene? Are we supposed to pick a side? Because the way that you're writing Cody in this movie, it's not very hard to be on Zack's side. I've actually been on his side for a majority of the movie, you know, besides the whole cheating on Maya thing. While having their argument, Cody strikes himself in the shoulder and the twins engage in a battle sequence where they hurt each other by hurting themselves. Take a good look at this scene because it's the last one that actually feels like something that belongs in a Sweet Life episode. Zack leaves, which is something I was contemplating doing while watching this movie, and chats with Nellie, who with the help of her twin sister, helps out Dr. Olson sometimes with his research. She convinces Zack to take a walk with her. Nellie mentions that although Zack and Cody fight, everything will change once the merge happens. She convinces Zack to go back and help Cody finish the project, which involves eating the fruit again. Bailey finds the letter from earlier and realizes that she was wrong about Cody and that he chose to spend spring break alone because he can get a scholarship to Yale if he attends the lab thing.
Don't you dare criticize the sweetest fella on earth.
Sweetest guy on earth? Is this movie even canon? Bailey, in the Sean Kingston episode, you were making a heart for your dad who you haven't seen in years, and Cody thought it was for another guy, so he broke it in front of everyone. What has he done since season 3 of the original show that would deem him the sweetest guy on earth? This movie is so stupid! Bailey drags London and Woody to the marine biology place to find Cody, while the twins have a conversation and realize that they can now read each other's minds, which makes this the second time the twins have gained superpowers. But at least the first time was a dream. They understand now that they are starting to become much closer together and that the merge is truly starting to take place. Zack and Cody are starting to have a heart-to-heart conversation, and Zack apologizes for messing up Cody's Yale scholarship.
I know.
Okay. While talking, Zack mentions how he's always been a bit jealous of Cody and the others because they have their life figured out while he doesn't. He knows he's good at something, he just has to go out there and find it, which literally could have been the plot of the movie, but okay. Later, they overhear Dr. Olson and Nellie talk about the merge that Zack heard about and come up with a plan to take him down and save every twin in the world from merging together and becoming one person.
During the merge, the twins become one, no longer.
Where is this dude reading from? There are no words on the screen. Cody says that they have to save all of the other twins and most importantly, stop eating the fruit while Zack chows down on it. That causes Zack to repeat everything that Cody is saying because now their speech is starting to become one.
You're becoming me.
Why did he deliver his line like this? Olson finds the twins snooping around in his lab, but Zack and Cody escape. This leads to Olson sending out a signal to every twin that he's mind-controlled and makes them find and stop Zack and Cody. Hey, you guys think that Brady and Boomer from Pair of Kings and Tia and Tamara from Sister Sister right here? I mean, thanks to my multiverse video, we do know that both shows actually are in the same universe alongside Sweet Life. Would easily be the coolest thing about the movie if they were. The twin army march their way over to Zack and Cody, and the twins escape using the zip line from earlier. They manage to get across to a warehouse where Zack falls down and hurts himself, yet Cody feels no pain. Zack also seemingly stopped repeating after Cody because it, I guess, was no longer required for the joke, despite it not actually making any sense within the context of the movie. They run into the warehouse and the twin army follow them, so in order to escape, they jump off a thing and land into the water, which just leads to the twin army meeting up with them there as well. They get captured and locked up back into the lab when Bailey, Woody, and Eliza burst through the door to rescue them. Woody's an idiot, so he touches the force field, which zaps him, and his hair goes all the way up in the air. Spaulding, who also arrived with the kids, tells Olsen to reveal who he really is, and that's when Olsen takes off his mask and reveals that he is actually Dr. Spaulding's twin brother. Whoa! Turns out that creepy janitor that we saw in the beginning of the movie, that was him. The violin player on the cruise, that was him. I'd explain more with what this dude's plan was or why he was evil to begin with, but honestly, I don't even understand it, and I don't think the writers did either. Dr. Olsen begins the experiment on Zack and Cody to finish the merge. The twins then... Alright. The twins then engage in an astral projection fighting sequence despite making up not even 10 minutes ago. Their fighting and arguing, however, is disrupting the merge from taking place. So they're told to keep doing it, and it works. Not only is their merge disrupted, but all the other twins as well. Spaulding and Olsen reconcile, Olsen gets arrested, and Zack and Cody walk into the sunset as they end a wild adventure that would have been great as a Lab Rats movie. Or a season 9 episode of Family Matters. Either one works. Back at the ship, spring break is finally wrapping up. Cody and Bailey end up spending their remaining days together, and Zack actually does end up getting a car. But Zack seems to have forgotten all of the character development that he just went through the past hour and parks his car in a no parking zone. And we all know what happens next.
Well, spring break's over. Now if I could just make it to summer vacation.
And there you have it, folks. The Sweet Life movie. After 6 years of patiently waiting, we get the movie we've all been waiting for, and it's a complete and utter disappointment. The Sweet Life movie, in summary, is an extremely poorly written, dissatisfying, and unfaithful adaptation to the Sweet Life franchise. Getting put in the spotlight where most shows usually shine, this film not only falls flat on its own, but also is a complete disservice to the IP it's based on, which is one of the reasons why I think that it ruined the show, and honestly, the legacy of Sweet Life in general. Although, yes, this wasn't the finale to the franchise, it was basically their way of going out with a bang, but instead it kind of just went out with a fart. And my question is, why? Why did you choose to have Sweet Life go out like this? Why not make a movie where Cody helps Zack find what he's good at during spring break so he can have some sort of career while Cody is in college with Bailey? Why would you choose to take a pretty simple show and then do something like this? Did you know that some people didn't even know this movie existed? And some Sweet Life fans didn't even watch it because of how dumb it was. But after doing some thinking, I think there actually is a reason why they chose to make the movie like this. That reason being Disney XD. When Disney XD came out, they made it clear that this was Disney for the boys. Nah, we don't have singers, we have rappers. And we don't have Princess Protection Program, we have Skyrunners. And honestly, I think they made the movie like this so it could, in a way, be a Disney XD film as well. Something that can air on the channel without it feeling out of place. That was their way of drawing more people to the channel. And the movie actually did end up airing on there several times. I could be wrong, but that's my theory. Overall, it's extremely disappointing to see how Disney treated Sweet Life in its last year, and I'm not even talking about the movie at this point. The finale itself is bad. Having Cody not make it into college even though he built a laser when he was like 11? Like, why would you do that? Funny enough, Cole and Dylan actually did end up returning to the network eventually, but in an episode of the 2011 series, So Random. And I guess it's time to announce that that will be the next Disney show that I cover on my channel. So expect that next month. Going back to my analogy from the beginning of the video, what happened with the Sweet Life franchise is like sending your most beloved employee from a company to a vacation, but it's a vacation to Ohio. And a Burger King coupon, which I would gladly accept, but still, Cole and Dylan's final moments at Disney were not very memorable at all. And if there is anyone remembering it, it's probably not in a positive way. But enough talking from me. I want to know what you guys have to say. What do you think of the Sweet Life movie or the finale? What Disney Channel original movies do you want me to cover next? Let me know in the comments below. As always, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to hit that like button. Oh, also watch my Disney Channel multiverse video. Let's get that to 10K by the end of the year. I'm Mr. Nostalgia, and I'm out for now. Peace.